Professor of Political Science and International Relations at the Bay Atlantic University, and joins us live from Washington, D.C. Professor Schirach, it's a pleasure having you on. First, let me just get your reaction to something our correspondent just said. He was talking about the reaction by humanitarian organizations saying that countries are basically just played politics with this vote. Your thoughts?
Well, yes. I mean, Russia clearly holds the keys to Idlib, if you wish. They give overwhelming military and logistical and air support to the Assad regime, and they determine, what can or cannot be done. Now, it looks like this is a great concession that they keep this just one border post open, as your reporting clearly indicates. And this is considered a great breakthrough. Well, before there were 4, and now there's only 1, and we're not quite sure for how long. So basically, by not allowing millions of Syrians trapped in Idlib to die, literally, with lack of resources, Russia kind of looks good for a moment. And there is this, just a tiny hope that this kind of negotiations outside of the Security Council between the UN, the U.S. ambassador to the UN and her counterpart from Russia, that this is kind of a miraculous moment of U.S.-Russia cooperation with more things to come. We'll see. At the moment, certainly this averts a disaster, which would have been had this deal collapsed without any renewal and no flow of humanitarian aid coming into Syria from Turkey. So this is certainly an improvement from disaster, but it's not a solution to this horrible problem of millions of Syrians trapped in this small enclave that survives on humanitarian aid. And while the Russians and the Syrians say these are rebels, these are terrorists, because obviously Syria claims sovereignty over its entire territory, and therefore this Idlib enclave is an anomaly that they don't want.
U.S. President Joe Biden had said in June, when he met with Vladimir Putin, that he had warned that Russia needed to vote on this to keep these border crossings open. What are your thoughts on the types of concessions or compromises that would have had to have been made for this vote to take place today?
Interesting question. I don't know if there's some kind of quid pro quo, say, okay, that Putin says to Biden, okay, Joe, I'm doing this for you now. Well, now you're going to do this for me, or something like that. I have no idea what sort of, give and take, behind the scenes might have taken place. Certainly, Russia, by not doing very much today, looks good. As your reporting indicates, it's the first time that there's a unanimous vote on a Russian, resolution in the Security Council that seems to, quote, solve a problem. Unfortunately, it doesn't solve anything. It allows a bad situation to continue without becoming absolutely disastrous. Can we read more into this? I would rather not. I would be very prudent in saying, well, this is kind of the beginning of some kind of a breaking of the ice between the U.S. and Russia. And so there's this cooperation on Syria, and maybe there will be cooperation on, I don't know what, arms control, ransomware or other things that the Russians are allowing or doing, attacks, cyber attacks. The relations between the U.S. and Russia are very bad. This is one moment of sunshine, and certainly to the benefit of the poor Syrians trapped in Idlib. But I wouldn't read too much into this as this being the dawn of a new era in U.S.-Russia relations.
Surely you're not the only one to share that sentiment, all right? Professor von Schirach, a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.